Asked to describe the human experience itself, look back on Earth and describe what is this human experience all about. Interestingly enough, people reported seeing a mirror. They said, well, I'm looking at myself in a mirror. Okay, interesting kind of a concept. So they're describing themselves. Have a little love going on in here. Describe what is the human experience all about. In looking at a covariant analysis, what we're interested in here is whether or not people who report weird and strange things happening to them after death are driven by, well, these are old folks and they're going to die pretty soon anyway, so they think about those things naturally. So does this match our population base here? These are, the blue is energy and light and spirit beings. You don't have to take a quick look at this. You don't have to know what all these things mean. What you can see readily from looking at the chart is the big chunk of reporting came from the middle age group, which is where the big chunk of people in the program were. So it's okay. What we're saying is that the spooky answers of the spiritual world aren't driven because you're an old person and you're going to die real soon anyway, and you think about that a lot. The same kind of reporting came back from the middle age group. Looking at a covariant analysis of education, is it just these lower educated people that report perceiving these things? There's a theory, that if you have enough education, you'll get all this nonsense out of your brain and you'll start to think about things correctly as the word really is. It's just those uneducated people that think about these crazy things. Well, as it turns out, the people with the college and the graduate work reported the most experiences. So it goes along with the group that we had in the experiencing this. How about a covariant analysis of people who were looking at illness, who had a serious illness? Does having a serious illness cause you to space out in your head and have these weird spiritual things that aren't real? No. Obviously, the people that had the most experiences and reported the most were the healthy people. How about drug use? Notice the big spike on no. Okay? Big spike on no. Taking drugs would seem to inhibit your ability to have these kinds of experiences rather than enhance them on the particular kinds of medication these people were taking. How about being in psychotherapy? Obviously, the greatest population said, no, we aren't in psychotherapy, I've never been in psychotherapy, and those were the people that gave us the biggest answers. Does that mean they should have been? I guess that's open to interpretation. So, the time thing is stringing out here. Again, I invite you to look at the report on the web if you want to. You might have noticed this is my book, okay? This is the commercial announcement here.
What's the title?
It's called Captain of My Ship, Master of My Soul. And has a CD that fits in your computer in the back. So you get more than just the book, you get the CD that goes in there. How frequently are we run courses almost all the time. Actually, it's 9 weeks on, 1 week off, but not the same course every particular time. It's about the same thing as taking a cruise to the Bahamas, except this is a different kind of a cruise. 6 days. 6 days. You arrive on a Saturday, leave on that following Friday. Oh, Larry says, what's on this crazy CD in the back of the book here? Remember I talked about those classified Soviet documents that drove the United States into looking deeper into this thing called remote viewing? Well, since those were in the early 70s, they're all available in the Freedom of Information Act, and I downloaded them and included them here on the disk. So those are on there. Plus there are 4 different workshops in remote viewing and learning how to do remote viewing. Lots of personal items and things about me. This book is about my spiritual journey through life. So there's some interesting things included here on the CD. She's asking about the idea of doing some research on the healing regeneration zone and people that might be well and then visit that area and then come back feeling better. Not in the way that you mean. First of all, the definition of the Healing Regeneration Center is something that happens after you die, supposedly. But maybe in this universe of oneness and no space and no time, we can actually incorporate the lessons that we learn from that in our everyday life. treat each other with love. So yes, there have been people that have realized in their own selves exploring those realms, but it's not something that we kept track of in terms of this study.